Hello again. I realized that there were a couple other things we really needed to do in our setup phase before we actually started building lessons. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set up our assignments. And right now you see that you got a closed eye here because there's no content, nothing visible to the students. So I'm going to take and click on assignments here, and I'm going to make some groups. First group I'm going to make is maybe we'll call this the homework classwork group. And then I'm going to take and make another group that's called the quizzes. Another group that's called review activities. And another group that's called test. Now, these are things we're going to come back to. We just needed that set up ahead of time so that we could come back and link assignments to them when we get to that point. Something else you may want to take a look at here is, where was it at? Oh, files. Let's talk about files for a minute. In your files, you can break things down into different folders, which would be real good because the files is one thing I just don't like about Canvas. It doesn't work real smoothly. There's a lot of hopping and jumping around. So it's a good idea to create folders for things. Now I'm going to show you a couple little tricks here. I'm going to create one folder and we're just going to call this all book lessons. And then I'm going to create another folder and I'm going to call this chapter 1. Now you notice my chapter 1 is not currently under all book lessons. I did that on purpose. That's because when I'm taking and building the lessons to go into the Canvas course, I don't want to have to click files and then click all book lessons and then click chapter 1. And I don't want to have to, when I get down to chapter 12, scroll through chapter 1 all the way down to find chapter 12. Once I'm done with chapter 1, I can do this. Go over to my three dots, click, move. Where am I going to move it to? I'm going to move it to all book lessons, and boom, now that is tucked away nice and neat in a subfolder where you never have to look at it again unless you want to go back and add something to chapter 1. So that's just a little trick and tip to make your process go a little bit smoother in building your lessons. Now I'm going to take that whole thing though, I'm just going to delete it for right now because we don't need any of that. I just wanted to show you how you could set up your files. Files are going to be a big deal for you in this, and I'm going to teach you some of why that's going to be so important to have access to files. Something else you're going to want your students to do, I would do this the very first day, is have them authorize Google Drive. To do that, they're going to click on Google Drive and then they're going to authorize it. Now I've already authorized my Google Drive, so you can see all this stuff from my Google Drive account is linked directly to my Canvas account. So I can pull anything from my Google Drive straight into Canvas. By them linking to Google Drive, that will allow them the same options so that they can take and do maybe a Google Docs file and then upload the Google Docs file straight into Canvas rather than having to download it to their computer and then uploading it as a Word file. Just one example of why. I think they will also have to have Google Drive opened or approved. Oh, excuse me, authorized is the correct word. They will have to have Google Drive authorized if they want to have access to the things that you upload to the internet. So if, say, my podcasts, all my videos are done on Google, saved on Google, they have to authorize their Google Drive in order to be able to see those videos. I think. I'm not positive about that, but I think that that's the way it's going to work based off some other experiences that I've had. That is all we're going to talk about on this section. Next time when we come back, we're getting into the meat and potatoes, which is going to be modules.